As the New Hampshire primary draws near, Nikki Haley finds herself in the crosshairs of the formidable Trump machine despite successfully achieving the two-person race she had long desired. The departure of Governor Ron DeSantis from the Republican primary, a move celebrated by Haley and her supporters, has shifted the focus onto her final showdown with Donald Trump. The belief among Haley's supporters and anti-Trump Republicans was that narrowing the field to a one-on-one contest would be the key to defeating the former president. However, with just 48 hours left to campaign, it appears that DeSantis's exit may not be the game-changer Haley had hoped for. In a surprising turn of events, two former rivals, Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina and the departed Ron DeSantis, have thrown their support behind Trump. The head of the party's Senate campaign arm has declared Trump the presumptive nominee, and Trump's campaign strategists are confident that Haley will be absolutely embarrassed and demolished in her home state of South Carolina. While campaigning in New Hampshire, Haley tried to rally her supporters, celebrating the demise of the DeSantis campaign. However, Trump, in Rochester, confidently predicted a victory so decisive that it would effectively end the primary. The pressure on Haley is palpable as some of her supporters in the state express concern that she may have held back in confronting Trump, making her aggressiveness in the final days questionable. Polls consistently show Trump leading by a significant margin, with a Suffolk University Boston Globe-Nucton Boston Daily tracking poll indicating a 53% to 36% lead over Haley on Saturday. For Haley, Tuesday's performance in New Hampshire is pivotal, potentially determining the future of her campaign and political career. Anything less than a victory or a narrow defeat could force her to reconsider, given the looming threat of relentless attacks from the Trump campaign in her home state. Haley's survival hinges on high turnout from New Hampshire's independent voters, who make up 40% of the electorate. Her team believes that a surge in turnout could favor her among independent and moderate voters, citing Senator John McCain's 2008 campaign as a model. However, public polls suggest Haley is trailing significantly among Republicans. Despite DeSantis's departure, doubts linger about whether there are enough anti-Trump Republicans and moderate independents to turn the tide in Haley's favor. Some argue that she has consolidated the non-Trump vote, but faces a challenging puzzle in overtaking the former president. Haley's donors and allies are optimistic that DeSantis's exit could attract more donations and help sharpen the contrast between her and Trump. Yet, the challenge remains to criticize Trump without alienating his supporters who may be open to alternatives. As the clock ticks down to the New Hampshire primary, Nikki Haley finds herself in a make-or-break moment, navigating the treacherous waters of the Trump machine in her quest for the Republican nomination. While Haley's donors and allies remain optimistic about the potential financial boost and the opportunity to differentiate her campaign from Trump's, seasoned political operatives in the state express skepticism. They question whether there are sufficient numbers of anti-Trump Republicans and moderate independents to sway the election in Haley's favor. Haley has consolidated the non-Trump vote, but overtaking him is the Rubik's Cube no one has been able to figure out yet, said Matt Mowers, a former Republican House candidate from New Hampshire who received endorsements from both Trump and Haley. In an attempt to energize her campaign in the final stretch, Haley delivered a stump speech on Saturday with heightened urgency. However, her critiques of Trump were occasionally softened by incorporating President Biden into the criticism, perhaps indicating a delicate balancing act to avoid alienating Trump's loyal base. Jane Freeman, a retired flight attendant and undeclared voter in Exeter, expressed mixed feelings about DeSantis's endorsement of Trump. While acknowledging the tricky nature of Trump's popularity, Freeman, who voted for Trump in 2016 and 2020, but now supports Haley, voiced hope in Haley's momentum. "I am nervous, but truly hopeful," she said. As the clock ticks down to Tuesday's primary, Haley's campaign faces a defining moment. With polls indicating a significant lead for Trump, the former South Carolina governor must rely on high turnout from independent voters to sway the outcome in her favor. Whether she can successfully navigate the challenges posed by the Trump machine remains uncertain, but Tuesday's results will undoubtedly shape the trajectory of Nikki Haley's presidential aspirations and political future.